First, we shall discuss about how the connections are done on the breadboard, then the CRO, how we observe the signals, how we read the signals. There are two channels, all those things will be explained in the CRO part of it. Then power supply. All these circuits, okay, transistor is an active device, it requires a separate power source, okay, excitation source. Now normally we use a battery. Now here in this case we are going to use a power supply that we have in our laboratories. Fine, using the batteries is costly because they get drained out, so we go for a eliminator, that is a power supply. And as I've said, like input signal has to be 1 kilohertz or 20 millivolt signal, sinusoidal. Fine, that signal is generated from function generator. And how do we connect the function generator to the CRO? All those things are explained in the setup. So we will start with the video. Okay.
Learn how to use a breadboard. Okay, now we'll see how these breadboard connections are. Okay, all these vertical connections are, see, if you, what you do is that you take a multimeter, put in continuity mode. Okay, and what I've done is that I have connected wires to this probe so that the wires go inside the breadboard. See, these vertical lines which are here, which are there, are connected. So all these vertical lines are actually shorted. There is a metal plate inside this vertical lines. Okay, so if you use a multimeter and check the continuity, it will give you a beep sound. Okay, so again I am trying for some other vertical lines. See here, see, all these vertical lines are shorted, so you can mount any of the components as per your wish. So all these vertical lines which you can see, they are shorted from here to here. You can check any of these vertical lines. Okay, they are shorted. Now these horizontal lines, now we have two horizontal lines here. Okay, but they are actually not shorted. Now actually the breadboard is divided into two parts, so from here to this last portion it is shorted. Okay, so you can connect your component to any of these slots. Okay, it is like this full line from here till here is shorted. Okay, so you can hear the beep sound. Okay, but this is, so we have a metal plate from here to here, that is the reason it is shorted. And then we have one more metal plate from this portion to this portion. Okay, so if I use a multimeter or connect one side to this, okay, you will see that it is showing a continuity test. Okay, so it is showing a beep sound. Okay, so this part also is shorted. Similarly this line also. Okay, there is no connection between the top line and the line below. Okay, there is no connection. See, there is no sound. Okay, no continuity sound. Okay, so there is no continuity here. Okay, so as per these horizontal lines, from here till here it is shorted, from here till here it is shorted, and on the other side from here to here it is shorted, and from here to here. I'll show you for the last time. See, from here to here it is shorted. Okay, then this is one line, this is second line that is shorted. Okay, and then this is the third line that is shorted, and this is the fourth line that is shorted. Okay, and all these vertical lines are shorted. Okay, see, like this. Okay, but this vertical line and this vertical line is not shorted. Okay, see here, it is not giving you a beep sound. Okay, so none of these vertical lines are shorted, this and this. Okay, see, if I connect here and here, you will not get a vertical beep sound. Okay, but if you connect like this, you will get a beep sound. So this is how you should use a breadboard. Okay, yes, thank you. In this video we will see how to use a power supply. So for all our circuits we have a battery in the circuit diagram, but using battery will be costly for us. So usually what we do is that we have power supply. So this is a DC power supply, okay, that we have over here. Okay, and I'll teach you all how to use this. Okay, so we have three different sections over here. So these 2 points, this is positive and negative of the power supply. This is one section wherein you can get a variable voltage from 0 to 30 volts in this, using these 2 points. Okay, this is the positive, this is the negative. You can see here there is a positive here. Okay, there is a positive here, and you can see that there is a negative sign here. So this is positive and negative, and it is showing that it is variable. So you can get any voltage from 0 to 30 volts. Now how do you set this voltage? Using these 2 knobs over here. This is coarse, where you can change the voltage abruptly fast. Okay, and if you want to adjust it very slowly, you can use this fine knob over here. To set the current, we have this knob over here, I maximum. Okay, so using these 3 knobs I can actually set this voltage. Okay, so you can vary it from anything from 0 to 30 volts. So in the second part we have over here, it is having a fixed 5 volts power supply, power section. So this is positive, this is negative. Now it is not variable, this is fixed. Okay, so you will always get positive 5 volts from this terminal over here. Okay, now for your op amps and all, so when you are actually doing experiments with op amps, okay, we require a dual power supply. It requires a positive voltage as well as a negative voltage. So this is the third section of this power supply, where it is giving you positive voltage, okay, and negative voltage with respect to a ground. Okay, how do you set these voltages? It is through these 3 knobs. Okay, it is the same as what we have discussed over here. Okay, now for voltage, these are the 2 knobs, coarse and fine. Okay, you can set the voltage accordingly. I will show you how to do, and for current you can vary this. Okay, so how do you use this? Okay, so what I do is that I turn on the power supply. I press, if I want to use this section, I have to press this button, 30 volts over here. Okay, it will show you the voltage which is coming over here. Okay, so you can use a multimeter in voltage DC. See, now I have used a multimeter, and this is actually set to measure DC voltage. Okay, so what we do is that we take a multimeter. I am just checking how much is the voltage over here. It is showing 11.5 on the multimeter. On the power supply it is showing 11.2. Okay, so you can actually vary this. Now if I want to set it to 15, just see, I am just varying the coarse. Okay, I am varying the coarse knob. Okay, so it is exactly at 15. Now if you want to set it fine, okay, so use this fine knob and set it exactly to 15. Okay, so this is positive, this is negative. Okay, so we have learned how to use this section. Okay, so it is very simple. This is positive, this is negative. Using this coarse and fine, you can set the voltage accordingly. Okay, now the second section, okay, there is no adjustment for that. It is a fixed 5 volt power supply. Maximum current is 1 amp. Okay, so if you connect a multimeter, you will get 4.97, that is 5 volts over here. Okay, maximum current it can give is 1 amp. Okay, here also maximum current that it can give is 1 amp. Okay, next is your dual power supply. Okay, so if you want to set maybe 10 volts over here and minus 10 volt over here, and with respect to ground, what you can do is that you can use this course. Okay, and you can actually set it up. Okay, so I just see the multimeter reading. It is showing 10. So how I got it, I actually varied this so that I got 10 over here. So I am getting plus 10 volts. Okay, on this probe or on this connector over here of the, I am varying the fine. Okay, so I am getting exact 10. Okay, so you can vary your fine to set it up. Okay, so I am getting 10 volts on this. Okay, so if I want minus 10 volt, see, it will automatically be set. Okay, you need not do the setting here. Okay, so whatever is over here, voltage that you are setting, so positive voltage will be coming over here and negative voltage will be coming over here. So if you have plus 10 here, you will get minus 10 with respect to ground. Okay, and you can set your current level also, how much maximum you want. Maximum it can give is 1 amp. Okay, so this is how we use a power supply. Okay, so thank you. Hi friends, in this particular video we'll learn how to use a function generator. So this is a function generator, and also we'll be learning how to use a CRO. Okay, so this is a CRO and this is a function generator. Now if you want to, if you have designed an amplifier, now for that amplifier you need to give an input signal, and then that input signal will go in the amplifier circuit, and then it will be amplified, and then it comes at the output. Okay, so this is the device that is actually giving the input signal. So this is the source for the amplifier. Okay, so from here we are getting the input signal. Now how to use this function generator? Okay, now the first thing is that now as you know that the input signal given to amplifier usually is a sine wave. Okay, and then in a sine wave we have amplitude part and we have the frequency part. Okay, so the amplitude part you can set it using these two knobs over here. So we have your amplitude, you can read, you can see here that it is written amplitude over here. So this is basically is used to set the amplitude of the input signal. Okay, and then these knobs are actually used to set the frequency of the input signal. So the input signal that is there has amplitude and frequency. So this is used to set the amplitude or to vary the amplitude, and these buttons which are there, they are used to set the frequency with this multiplier switch. Okay, so it is very simple. Now if you want to set the input signal for a frequency of 1 kilohertz, so what you can do is that you can actually press this button. Now see here, you can see I am pressing this 1 kilo button over here, and this multiplier knob, you can see this some indication is over here, and then 1 is over here. So it is actually multiplying. So 1k into 1 is 1 kilohertz. So actually if you connect this function generator to a CRO, you are expected to get a 1 kilohertz signal. Okay, if you want a 10k signal, then you have to press 10k, and this has to be 1. If you want 20k, there are two options. Either you press a 10k and you set this guy to 2. Okay, so it is 10 into 2, or you press this 100k and set it to 0.2. So whichever you find convenient, you can use. Okay, so you have to only remember that for frequency, these buttons and this multiplier switch will play an important role. Okay, this is the multiplying thing. So 10k into 2 will give you, this is a simple thing, 20 kilohertz. Okay, so this is how you vary the frequency, and then using this amplitude knob over here, this is how you vary the amplitude. Okay, now this is called as the CRO. Now using this device, what we did is that we gave input to the amplifier. Okay, the input signal went to the amplifier, it got amplified. Now we can't see using our naked eyes, correct? No, so we have to we use a device, something called as CRO, to actually see how my waveform is looking. Okay, so the output of the amplifier is actually connected to the CRO. Okay, and then your signal will be displayed onto the CRO. Okay, now if you see this, I will not explain all the things. I will just explain what is required. So it has two channels. This is channel 1 and this is channel 2. Okay, so this you can actually see two signals over here. So in short, I can see I can connect input over here to this channel, so I can see input also and output also of the amplifier at the same time. Okay, so there are two channels, channel 1 and channel 2. Okay, it is not compulsory that always input has to be connected to channel 1 and output has to be connected to channel 2. You can connect wherever you want. Okay, they are independent channels. Okay, so this is the voltage division for channel 1, this is for channel 2, and this is for time division adjustment. Okay, I'll show you how it is. Okay, now if you want to see, now we have something called as BNC connector. Now these are called as BNC connectors. Okay, so this, if you can see here properly, they are called as BNC connectors. Now I'll just show you one properly. Okay, and this is just one simple BNC connector. So on one side it will have this knob, okay, that will either go here or here, and on the other side it has these crocodile pins. Okay, so what you can do is that now if I want to connect, what I will do is that I will simply connect output of this function generator to this CRO and check how the signal is appearing. Okay, so what I can do is that now we have three options here, 1, 2 and 3. Now which option you should use? Okay, so you have to always use this 50 ohms option. Okay, so you have to connect your probe BNC connector over here. Okay, so I connect it over here on one side. Okay, and I use one more BNC connector. I will use channel 2 in this case. You can use any channel that you like. There is no compulsion. And what I will do is that I will short these two. I will short these two probes here. I have used wires. Okay. You can directly use crocodile pins, but I wanted to use that for a circuit, so I use wires. So it is like a same. It is like one connector now. Okay, positive to positive and negative to negative. Okay, so directly output of this function generator is given to this CRO here. Okay, so what is the first thing that you do? We turn this function generator on. It is already on. You can see here. You can turn this on. Okay, now this is the new CRO. It will show you digital readings of channel 1, the setting of channel 1. So it is set to 10 millivolts, 5 millivolts. So you can change this accordingly depending on how much signal is getting displayed over here. If it is small, you can keep it small. If it is big, you can keep it high. Okay, and channel 2 is set for 2 volts. Okay, and your time division is set for 1 millisecond. Okay, so what is the first thing that you do? Okay, you always want okay, when you are setting this up, both the devices, the first thing what you do is that you press this ground button. Okay, so you press this ground button. Okay, this line has to be exactly in the center. So since I am using channel 2, this is the knob for that. Okay, if I had to use channel 1, this is the knob for changing the thing. Okay, so I am pressing the ground button. I am releasing the ground button. Okay, and then we will see what output waveform I get. Okay, so you can see I am getting a proper sinusoidal waveform. Okay, now so this is how the output, this is how the signal looks like. So what I have done is that I have connected function generator directly to the CRO. Since now why it is little shabby is because of these grounding issues. Okay, if I had to connect this crocodile pins properly, the waveform will not. Okay, so if you have a new BNC connectors, this waveform will be stable enough. Okay, so this is how you do. Now we'll only learn how to use this. Forget about the waveform that is okay. Now if you want to increase the amplitude, now you can. So if you want to increase the amplitude, no. Okay, now. So if I vary this, the signal looks to be big, but actually you are not increasing the amplitude of the signal. Okay, you are just making it big. Okay, if you actually want to increase the amplitude of the signal, what you have to do is you have to actually vary this knob. Okay, so you have to increase this. So if you vary this knob, you are actually increasing the amplitude. Okay, now we'll just measure. Okay, the amplitude with this setting. Now it is, how do you measure this? We'll measure half of this peak. So it is 1, 2, 3 divisions. Okay, 3 into channel 2 it is, no? So 2. So it is 6 volts. So this is 6 volts. Okay. So if I actually make it small, okay, it is actually 6 volts. So it is 1.2 into 5 volts is 6 volts. Okay, so when I vary this, it doesn't mean that the signal is becoming small. Okay, you are just zooming the signal. Okay, the signal is remaining same. Okay, so this is what it means. So actually the signal amplitude is 6 volts. Now if I actually reduce it from the function generator, okay, now you will measure. Now what I have done is that I am reducing the signal. Okay, now if you measure the signal amplitude, it is 1. So this is 1. Into 2 is 2 volts. Now the amplitude of the signal, that is half wave, is 2 wave or is 2 volts. Okay, so if I increase it, okay, so it is 2 into 1 is 2. So this is how we actually change the amplitude of the signal. Okay, now if I want to change the frequency, so I have pressed this 1 key, and what I have to do is that this time base is very small, so I have to increase that. We see how to vary the amplitude. Now you can see a proper signal. The problem with the previous waveform was the connectors, so we have replaced the connectors. Okay, so what we do is that we press ground. We see that it is exactly at the center here. I have pressed ground C here, and then we vary this knob so that the line is exactly at the center. We release this. Okay, and then if you want to vary this, what we have to do is this button. Okay, so you can see X shift. Okay, this knob is to vary this in x direction. Okay, so what I am doing is that I am setting this, keeping this at this level. Okay, now how much is the amplitude? Now it is one box, one division, two divisions. So 2 into 1 is 2 volts. Okay, since I am using channel 2. Okay, now if I actually increase it like this, okay, so how many divisions it is now? 1 2 3 4. So 4 into 0.5 is 2 again. Okay, so if I vary this, it doesn't amplify the signal. Okay, so this is something that you have to know. Okay, if it is big, it is not that it has amplified. Okay, if you have to actually increase the amplitude of the signal, you have to actually vary this knob of the on the function generator. So if I increase, I will decrease it. Okay, if I decrease it, okay, now what will be the amplitude of the signal? So it is 1 into 1 is 1 volt. Okay, now what I will do is that I will increase this guy, so that, okay, so it is 2 divisions into 0.5 is 2 is still 1 volt. Okay, so this is how you vary the amplitude. So to vary the amplitude, you have to vary this. Okay, to vary the frequency, you have to vary this. Okay, you have to press this button, and so this is now for 5 kilohertz. So I press 10 and I will set this, I'll keep this at 0.5. So this waveform that you can see is 5 kilohertz signal. Okay, so this waveform that you can see is 5 kilohertz signal. Okay, so if you want a sinusoidal waveform, okay, you press this. Okay, so if you want a square waveform, you press this button. Okay, so if you see here, you are actually getting square waveform. Okay, these vertical lines are not seen. Okay, in CRO you will not see. Okay, so it is like this. Okay, so this is a square waveform at 5 kilohertz. So if I press this button, it is a triangular waveform. Okay, triangular waveform of 5 kilohertz. Okay, so using these 3 buttons, you can actually set a signal for a sinusoidal, for a square, and for a triangular waveform. And using these knobs, you can actually set it for the frequency and with this frequency multiplier. So I guess this is just a basic introduction of how to use your devices, because we will be requiring these devices when we perform our experiments. Okay, so thank you very much.